We are live.
It's playoff time, baby. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, it's playoff time. All right. I want to make a few announcements as we get started here. Some are, oh, well, I've got the Facebook thing on. Hang on. Let me shut that off.
We're professionals here, folks.
Got a little bit of lag there, huh? Anyway, first announcement. Mandy and I have been off for a couple weeks from our, I guess, movie live stream, but it won't be, we'll be back this week, but it won't be a movie. We'll be doing talking about a couple episodes of The Office. And so we'll be back. We're going to be back, and we're going to be talking about The Office, and that should be fun. That's on Wednesday at 8. The other announcement, for those who like family-friendly content here, great. But if you like some inappropriateness, remember, my buddy over here has a YouTube channel, Value Vinyl. And and I'm giving him a hard time, but really, you know, there's some really good content over there. I wanted to shout him out this week because I was really impressed.
Oh, man, thank you.
With the video that he just did where he restored an original pressing of the Beatles' White Album.
That was fun.
Yeah. And so...
And for those that are watching, let me clarify. I want to defend myself. I do have occasional things that could be a little blue or risque, maybe a swear word here and there, but it's not like front to back. My channel's just nothing but vulgarities or nothing.
Yeah,
I will say the majority of my episodes are family friendly. Just I don't focus on it.
But we do have some partial nudity at times on your channel.
Hey, by the way, those records came from a devout Christian. You remember that,
right? All right. So if you came in for the NFL talk, we're getting ready to get into it.
Thank you, Dale. Appreciate the shout out.
Oh, no. Hey, look, I really enjoyed that. You did some really good work with that record.
Some people called me the vinyl doctor. I said, no, man, they weren't sick. That record was dead. I'm like a vinyl cancer.
Yeah. So I want to shout out a page on Facebook called NFL Enthusiast.
Sounds like
which kind of gave me the idea for this salty edition.
All right.
Of this show. Because I'm feeling a little salty. And it was partly because and it came out, I thought I was going to be okay. I thought I was going to be okay with how the season played out. The Dolphins are not in the playoffs, but we showed great strides forward. We won 10 games.
Nobody expected you to win 10 games at the beginning of the year, Dale. You know this, man. We talked about this on week 1 of our show. And so I'm really proud for your boys with the adversity they've gone through. But, yeah. Speaking of Mandy, look who's in the chat, guys. Go look over there.
Hey, Mandy.
That's Mandy.
Oh, wow.
She's the one that likes The Office with Ricky Gervais better than the English American version. So you can give her.
Yeah, I forgot to tell her that you kind of trashed her her stuff so Mandy, when you leave this live stream, you need to go to last week's live stream and watch like the last 2 or 3 minutes. Are we really we must be getting a big delay.
She's right there with the delay.
Anyway, yeah, Mandy, you need to watch those last 3 minutes and then come up with so you have a reply for Steve come Wednesday.
I was a little salty. Speaking of salty, Dale.
Salty, we're getting salty.
How do you like that segue? Professional.
We talked about being afraid of her, and this is what I'm talking about.
Sad thing is she's capable of doing it. I mean, she's in. I mean, she is a scary woman. But see, when I'm married to that, I kind of live on the edge of women that might just kill me in my sleep, and so Mandy doesn't scare me. So
yeah, I must admit that I laughed my butt off when you told Mrs. VP she was desperate, and she was holding a box cutter at the time.
I'm not smart.
Wow.
No, do not lip off to your woman while they're holding a weapon at your face. not recommended.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So anyway,
Check out Value Vinyl over here on YouTube.
Well, I was in the middle of a shout out to the NFL enthusiasts, and so I was on that page, and Summer Lattimore, who is a diehard Washington football team fan and administrator, I think, on that page was she stirred something up with her post, and it's not like I'm insane. It's not like I think that Summer was posting just for me, but all she was doing was she was excited because the Redskins backed their way into the playoffs, and so she was excited, and but it started rubbing.
What was the record again, Dale? What was their record at the end of the season there in the East?
The Washington, they were 7-9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9.
So I started feeling a certain sort of way because I'm thinking here, my team is 10-6. That's 3 games better.
Yeah.
And
we're
sitting at home. Man, you're in trouble. Anyway,
Andy.
So I made a post. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. I made a post over on the NFL enthusiast page.
Do you use that advanced technology and share? Is that what you're gonna try to do?
I'm gonna try. You have to give me a break. I'm an old geezer, so it takes me a minute to figure this newfangled technology out, and then I have to scroll down and find it. I don't think it's that far down.
Steve Carell's not even an actor. He was on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. He's just a talking head. He has no acting skills whatsoever. There.
Let's see here. So I posted.
She said she was leaving. Sorry, I thought if I just threw things out like that, she'd just answer. At least we have somebody.
Somebody in here watching.
Oh, Mrs. VV is going to talking smack on Amanda now.
Uh-oh. Well, I guess maybe since Wednesday it's gone down the page a little bit.
He is an angel. He's just not an actor, nor a good one.
Steve Carell, he is so perfect. Okay, here's my post. All right, so let me
Kirk Robinson too.
Let me share the screen here. All right. So I made this post. Breaking news. The NFL has just started selling participation trophies. Now you two can wear championship gear with delusional pride, even if your team did absolutely nothing to deserve it.
I love it, Dale. Post.
So that's Summer salty.
Got it.
And and there she's taunting me with the NFC East division, and here I fixed it for her. 7 wins.
Put on there, NFC East. Somebody has to win it.
Yeah, 7 wins, 9 losses. Commitment to excrement.
Woo! Duty jokes are fun. We
Just just participate, baby. Yeah.
All right, you're done. You're no longer allowed to comment. Go watch your shows. You're not allowed to watch the live stream. That last comment just got you fired, kicked off our comment section.
So, what's this, Mrs. VV talking about the Packers quarterback?
Mm-hmm. She has a woman crush and has since the late 80s, early 90s on Brett Favre. Not the Packers, just Brett Favre and his manly gorgeousness, as she says.
Well,
did I mention there's more than one reason why I hate the Packers? It's more than one.
He is a handsome man.
At least you don't like Brady. Can we be thankful for that?
Oh my gosh. I'm sure we're gonna get to Brady before all this is over. So I just started feeling some kind of way. Not that I hate the Redskins.
Good for the Washington football team, but
it just has gotten under my skin a little bit to have my team season over. And here are the Chicago Bears 2 games worse than us, and the Washington Redskins 3 games worse than us, and they still get to play.
What is the con column if it was just based off records? Not that the best team in each division is guaranteed in the playoffs. Hey, if you're the NFC East and y'all suck, get in. That's just the way it works. Play better. Get good. What's wrong with that? I'm not seeing any real negatives other than, well, somebody's not going to be represented. Well, somebody better learn how to play football.
Yeah. So I was thinking about solutions.
There's mine.
And I don't know that anyone would ever go for division winners not being in the playoffs.
But why?
But I do think there should be a rule change regarding wild cards. I think wild cards should be assigned with indifference to conference. So what you could do, so in that case, what you could do is remove the Chicago Bears and let the Dolphins play in their spot in the NFC. And so
you sound like a wackadoodle here, Dale. Keep talking.
Not a wackadoodle. I mean, what you would do is at the end of the season, all right, all four division champs go in. You've got 6 wild cards, right? You let the wild cards fill out and seed them based on records in each conference. But if you have a wild card in one conference,
hi Eric,
that hey Eric, that has a worse record that can, if you have a team in one conference that's qualifying that has worse record than a team that's not qualifying in another conference, you switch them out, and that can work but either way. You have an NFC
AFC versus AFC Super Bowl though.
Well, I think traditionalists won't like it, but I think if you can get over it, it would allow one thing it would do, and it may not happen every year because it could be that the seeding would work out exactly the way it should work.
Yeah, most years it does work that way. This was
most years it does, but when it doesn't, then you switch them out, and that would give us some potential playoff matchups that we've never seen before, and it would keep the level of play better because you would rather see a 10-6 team in the playoffs than a 7-9 team.
And now it is a wild card.
And it's a wild card.
Technically speaking, wild card could be anything.
So by its very definition,
yeah, I'm on you. I don't know if I'm totally on the train yet, but I'm at the station and I'm waiting for it, and I'm seeing it coming in the distance. But yeah, okay.
So I believe what that would do is if my suggestion would be replace the Bears with the Dolphins, and that I think that would give us Miami Dolphins at New Orleans Saints matchup instead of Chicago Bears. And
you do, but at least you're there,
right? And you know, it would just improve. I mean, the whole point of playing the season is to reward the teams that win the most games.
Yeah, and that's not happening right now. And not only that, exciting games, Dale. Does anyone, even Bears fans, know they're going to lose week 1? They're not going to win, and the Bears fans even know that. It's like 99%, I'm sure. So, I mean, it's not going to be fun football.
And here's the other reason they should do it. Last year, when this whole tank for Tua started,
I remember those days.
There were NFL talking heads that had the audacity to accuse our GM, Chris Greer, and coach Brian Flores of endangering NFL players by not having good enough talent on the field to play football games.
Joke's on them. You guys weren't tanking, and you still
no. He actually won 5 games by the end of the season.
Yeah. So,
but you know what? We didn't tank, and we played competitive. We played football as competitively as we could, and that was their point. Was you should. The way the league should be set up, it should be every team should be competing as hard as they can. All right, well, we did that this year. My Dolphins did that this year. They're 10-6. And what did it get them?
9. Squat.
It got 2 teams with worse records in the playoffs ahead of them.
Tanking, you might as well. I mean, look at this. You look what happened to Jalen Hurts last week against the Eagles. They got your up-and-coming star quarterback, and they benched him for the last game to intentionally lose it, and they moved up 5 draft spots. The Eagles did doing that, but that's not tanking. No one's calling them out on that.
No, they. Come on. You know, it's one of those things. But what kills me.
But if you would have known, that's what I was saying. If you knew you weren't making the playoffs, you wouldn't try. You know, that's a whole other thing. You guys should expect you win 10 games, you get in the playoffs. That is a reasonable expectation for any football team.
Right. And if teams with superior records are missing playoffs while crappy teams like Washington with their stinking 7-9 record and the Bears with their neither one of these teams are winning records. I mean, the Bears' record is a coin flip, 50-50. But they get to go to the playoffs. So the system broke. And it needs to be fixed. So where are all the guys that were outraged thinking Miami was tanking last year? Why aren't they outraged this year because the NFL is rewarding superior or subpar football by giving losing teams playoff spots?
I'm not. I got none.
I told you. I'm feeling a little salty.
I'm salty for completely different reasons, but this is definitely a salty week for sure.
Yeah. So So when I go on and I see a 7-9 team with their little championship hats and championship T-shirts,
participation trophies, accurate.
Participation trophies.
You're in the NFC East. Somebody's got to win. How about you? You got it. Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, they're going to get so now. So I've been trashing Washington all week. So let me get honest with it.
I've been trashing them already because I don't consider them a football team to start with, because they're not. They're the football team. They don't even have a mascot. They don't even have a name. I was giving them crap all year long about them not really even existing. They're just a placeholder till a real team gets there. And then the placeholder team makes the playoffs with a losing record.
Yeah. And just think about it. We were just a whisker. If the Eagles had won that game, you'd see the 6-10 Giants in the playoffs. That's how close we were to having a 6-10 team in the playoffs while a 10-6 team sat home. The system's broke. Somebody needs to fix it.
Roger, you think everybody hates you? You're right. Most people do. You want to get some redemption? Do something about this, Roger.
So that was one of the issues that I really had this week coming in here is that it just really is kind of this weekend will be a tough weekend of football for me watching Redskin or the Washington and the Bears get their butts beat. That should be us getting their butts beat.
I, being a Detroit Lions fan, I'm completely comfortable not watching my team on playoffs weekends. So, or we might get a wild card slot every now and then, but we're not going to win it. We haven't won a playoff game since '91. So, I'm not so concerned. But you guys, you have hopes, you have aspirations. You actually think you could win something. You don't have what I got. So I don't got the same feeling for you. All I have is my compassion and sympathy for you and your situation.
I missed this comment. The Packers picked the playoffs.
You did that earlier. I did the whole look down there and then shook my fist at him. That was the
Oh,
they squeaked their way in. You're fine, line bender. I'm sorry, did your cheese get in your head and clog up its functions? Your synapses not firing because all that cheese in your head?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that is my big gripe on that. Now I have another one, and then I'll let you get to your gripe.
Yes. What is your second gripe, Dale? What are you salty about?
It's just the schoolgirl outburst of the Miami Dolphin fans regarding Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, he's a bust. Get rid of the bum. Draft another quarterback. That's what you guys got to do.
I just don't get it. I know that he had bad games. I know he had bad games. I know that we need to figure out how to get him to push the football down the field a little bit. He can't keep dinking and dunking. But here's why I'm upset about that. All right, for one, so Sunday there was another YouTuber, much more popular than us, Miami Dolphins.
More than 3 viewers? Wow. Big time.
And I like the guy. I like the guy a lot. I watch his live streams every now and then. I'm not trying to trash the guy.
Just making an observation.
But
I'm not criticizing.
He ran one titled I'm wanting to say it said, I looked at it because it said Tua is trash. Come in and argue. He was basically inviting people to come in and argue, and he'd destroy their argument. And You know,
You said this is a professional football fan, right? This guy,
what?
well, this guy know who Joe Montana is. This guy knows who
You would think that if someone knew NFL history,
right?
you would understand that the Dan Marinos that come into the league, or the Andrew Lucks that come into the league, and
not many of those,
and have big stats in their rookie years, are few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady sat the bench his first year. Brett Favre didn't sniff. They weren't even planning on putting Brett Favre in.
No.
And I can remember after he rode the pine in Atlanta, he got traded to Green Bay. And from there, there were a couple years where they were worried about, could he get his interceptions down? And it took him a minute to develop. Joe Montana, I think, maybe threw a handful of passes his rookie year. Patrick Mahomes rode the pine his rookie year. Here's the big one, Josh Allen. That's the guy that everybody keeps hollering about.
He's the best.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen was not performing like this 2 years ago when he was a rookie. He had more interceptions than touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, I don't want to say something that's controversial here, okay? But what does, leave Patrick Mahomes out of this, but what does Joe Montana, all the other people we listed, have in common that's different than Tua? And I wonder and I hope that that's not the reason. I swear it's not, because there's no other logical reason they should be saying what they're saying about Tua in a rookie year like this. There's no logical reason. And
yeah, I don't know that it's racial.
I hope not.
I would hope not. I would like to think that we're so far past that point that that's not even a consideration.
But we still have people in this country, though, that are blowing up buildings thinking that the 5G networks are putting thoughts in our brains to mind control us. So the country's kind of got weird people thinking bad things. So
I do think there does still exist a debate on running quarterbacks that run a lot. And I think part of the problem there is there are, when you have a quarterback that's so gifted running, that I think a lot of coaches, especially on the lower levels, don't take the time to develop their passing game.
Yeah,
and I think that is a legit issue.
Yeah.
And so we've seen a lot of quarterbacks come in, like Michael Vick. Well, first quarterback that always pops in my head is Cordell Stewart from the 90s. And then Michael Vick come along, and he's like Cordell Stewart, only more gifted.
Yeah.
And I warned people, I said, the problem with it is, yes, Mike Vick has a cannon of an arm, but every football that comes off his fingers looks the same. It looks like a rocket. You've got to be able to throw different types of passes in.
You got to have touch too, Yeah, it's not all about
accuracy. And you've got to be able to consistently make completions down the field against defenses, especially when they stop the run. So,
what's the difference between MVP Cam Newton and this past year's Cam Newton? MVP Cam Newton had the legs where he could get out of situations a lot easier than he is this year, having to rely on passing more and failing at it.
Right. So, I mean, Mike Vick is good for highlights, and he could win some games, but he was never going to get to a championship game that way. And so, but that's not the issue with Tua.
Tell me to shut up, Dale. I was going to say, yeah, because if a team thought that with Michael Vick, they wouldn't have a dog in the fight. I was gonna say it, but I went, no, Steve, don't tell that joke. It's a bad joke. So I'm not gonna say it. Sorry.
Okay, so yeah.
Oh, that's a really good joke. You got to admit that's a good one.
Oh yeah. I was watching here's a diversion. I was watching a memorabilia opening video by a guy, a live streamer or a YouTuber, and he got something signed by Michael Vick, and he looked around and I thought, what's he doing? And he said, okay, she's over there, and he was pointing to his dog Luna. She's okay. Yeah. Anyway, I don't, that shouldn't be the issue with Tua. He's not really known for being a running quarterback. I mean, he's known for
enough to get out of trouble. But...
Right. Athletic enough. But I think Kurt Warner might have hit it the closest when he said that Tua's got to figure out what's NFL open versus Alabama open. And so you would hope that development will come, but you just can't expect it right out the gate. Even Warner said that he had, even leaving from the Rams, going to the Cardinals with the different types of receivers, there was a difference. So, and he had to adjust to that. So, I don't know why, it just bothers me that people are just calling them trash. And it's like, we didn't have a off season because of COVID.
Missed so much training, OVAs, everything that you normally they would have to get a new player acclimated. They weren't there. They didn't have it.
And while the not every fan would know this, Dolphin fans would know that we were wiped out at skill positions. Gesicki got a shoulder injury that limited some of his play late in the season. Both
you guys are
now this is
one time, weren't you?
Yeah, we were down both. We had all three. Now this is when I was young. I could just rattle off names, but Miles Gaskin and Breida and Ahmed, they were all out at one time. Then they would start coming back sporadically, and Devontae Parker's our number one wide receiver has been nursing a hamstring injury. He's been in and out. Our number two guy, Jakeem Grant, he's been injured, so he's been in and out. Our number one tight end, Mike Gesicki, shoulder injury, he's been in and out. Our skill player, I mean, we at one point probably our best skill player was Lynn Bowden, who we got from who's a rookie we got from Kentucky, from the Raiders from Kentucky. But I mean, we were wiped out, so we don't have any weapons. Now here comes the big issue:
but you guys were still 10-6. You were still 10-6.
Yeah, still 10-6.
All that
with all of it, and
respect.
So now here's what we got to think about. Now I hope the Dolphins can talk Fitzpatrick coming back for another year. I think another year of mentoring Tua would be awesome. And he gives us a viable backup. Everybody's hollering, draft a quarterback. I'm going to trust the process. Now the Dolphins have said Tua will be the starter next year.
You didn't curse the Texans to lose all year just to draft another quarterback that you don't need.
Right. But see, and that's the rub. So do we draft another quarterback? If you do, then you're not getting Tua any weapons. We need a big-time playmaking wide receiver
Mhm.
We need, as much as I love Miles Gaskins and Ahmed and Breida, they are smaller scat backs. We had gotten Jordan Howard from the Bears, who could, slam it. he was supposed to be our physical back that would
Right. You
slam
need
it
a
in.
downhill, short yardage guy, and you hand
And
to who you guys currently have. You don't know if you're going to get a yard or two. Where you I just need a yard, and he'll just do it.
Now Gaskin runs hard, but he's half the size.
I was going to say, but he's not that big.
These just aren't big backs. So,
a fullback.
Yeah. So if you draft a quarterback, you're not going to get weapons. You're not going to really see, and you may end up not seeing what either Tua or the other guy can do.
It's the cycle. We saw the cycle with Cleveland back in the day. We're drafting a quarterback. We don't give him weapons. That quarterback stinks. Let's draft another quarterback. Oh, but we still didn't give him no weapons, and he stinks.
And they have been doing it for a long time, because I can remember back when they restarted and Tim Couch was there, and they kept trading. They stunk, and they kept trading away Couch's receivers. I think.
But what happened this year? They're in the playoffs. What did they do? They got ODB. They got Landry. They got Chubb. They actually worked on the skill positions and left Baker in there, even though Baker was kind of shaky at times last year. But we're not going for another quarterback. Let's work on the skill positions. And look where they are, where the Dolphins aren't right now. So
right.
The Dolphins fans would be dumb to take a step backwards by drafting a quarterback.
Yeah. And but it's been, I guess the reason I'm salty about that is because Dolphin fans have been so wishy-washy all year. That we started out with Fitzpatrick. We don't want to see Fitzpatrick. We want to see Tua. Tua comes in. Well, Fitzpatrick was playing good. Why are you taking him out? And then, it's just been this.
I said it. Like, the Magic's doing all right. Let him go. Until the brain in me clicked that he's a great backup, but he's not a starter.
And he does good where in the position that we had put him in. And so, so that's it on the Tua thing. I just have gotten a little salty about the fact that people are just so, the things change because the YouTuber I was watching last weekend, I'd watched him earlier in the season, and he was the one hollering, sit Fitzpatrick down. We need to see what we got with Tua. Now you're saying Tua's trash. Come on, man. Give the guy how. And that's just the impatience. You're not going to develop a quarterback in a matter of weeks.
You guys got to be careful. You guys do not want to turn into Patriot fans. I listen to Patriots radio here. And
are they that fickle?
And they're talking about how everything sucks and how all the players are horrible and how this and they won by 21 points. Don't turn into them, man. You're better than the Patriot fans.
Oh yeah, we don't we don't embrace cheating.
That too.
All right. So what you said you had an issue.
Salty. Listen, guys, I understand that COVID's a big deal. It really is. I'm not one of those people that thinks it doesn't exist. I wear my mask every time I'm out. I'm washing my hands more than I usually do. I think it's very important to social distance. But Stefanski's got COVID. I get it. The Browns are at a severe disadvantage with the Steelers because of that. Now he's at his basement in his house, and he was actually Skyping and practicing over the 2 days that they were able to practice. And the problem is he was informed by the NFL that he's not have any communication, not even go to the stadium. He's not allowed to be on cell phone, telephone, or nothing. He's discommunicated from the team. On a playoff wild card weekend, no. Here's the thing, guys. That's an empty stadium. There are skyboxes and skyboxes that are empty. There are places where they could put him in a hazmat suit, walk him into the stadium, sterilize him down, put him in a room all by himself where he can see the field, monitors in front of him, let the man coach. And if you're not going to let one of the teams that could go to the playoff, that's in the playoffs, that could go to the Super Bowl, you're going to throw them in there with that kind of a disadvantage. You need to cancel this game, move it to next week, do what you have to do, or let the guy. But you cannot let the game continue with Stefanski not being a coach and one of the teams not having a coach. I'm salty because they can fix it. There are logical, safe ways of letting the man coach his team and letting him have fair football game play. But now the Browns are going to lose. The Browns are cursed. I have no reasoning that they're going to win, and they should. I think they can beat the Steelers. I really think they have a good chance with a coach. So, you NFL, I'm salty.
Yeah, I don't get that. Why can't they let him at least Skype? Because that is still added. All right. So we know that the NFL has a rule about competition where, all right, they wear headsets. If one team's headsets go out, they make the other team put their headsets down. It keeps them fair and balanced.
Are you saying Tomlin should sit? Ooh, that would be awesome.
No. What I'm saying here is it doesn't make sense to deny him the ability to Skype in his coaching because Tomlin's on the field. If you're Skyping it in, you're already at a disadvantage.
At least let him do that.
Yeah. So why not let him
How
Skype
is it
it
hurting?
in? It's not hurting anything. So I don't understand. All right, so if they think that he has access to some sort of media that gives him an advantage.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Security things. We can't keep our eye on you. That's what I said in the skybox.
They can.
In the stadium. Don't do it from home from Skype. Let him be in the stadium. Let him be able to be seen. See that everything's on this level.
Yeah, but they could. They could put a camera up in his office and watch him. I mean, I don't get it.
Regular game. This isn't the regular. This is Super Bowl. This is you win, you're in, you lose, you're out. You don't get a second chance. Wow, what a big disadvantage for no reason.
Right. But I still think the Browns can win this game.
I hope so. I just worry about it because I think.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not
fancy. So
it's not a slam dunk either way. I think these teams are fairly even, but I think the Steelers are actually at a disadvantage because they can't run the ball right now.
No. That time last year where James Conner was like the next thing, man. It's like, man, look at this guy. He's awesome. What happened to him?
Yeah. So I think the Browns. It would be better if they could talk to their coach, but I think they might be able to pull this one out without him.
Got no other choice because he ain't gonna be there.
Yeah, but I don't blame you for being salty about that because that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, let the man at least Skype it in. And I'm not sure what in the world as I think about it, I just don't know what in the world, what kind of advantage could he get?
What is the no communication thing? I mean, that's why I get is like the dude is sick, and then you're going to punish him for being sick.
Right. He's not suspended.
No, he didn't create a crime. He didn't take air out of a football. He didn't film somebody on the sideline. He didn't put out a bounty on the other team. He got a virus that, 100 people or so the NFL have gotten also. Punishing the guy. Because that's what you're doing. You're punishing the guy and you're punishing his team. For no reason.
Yeah. It just, yeah, that's just stupid stuff on the NFL's part. But, we live in the age of Roger Goodell. We got to learn we're going to have to live with some of that, I guess.
Should we get to picking some games? I guess, Dale, now that we're
45 minutes in.
Are we done with our hemming and hawing and criping and mudgeoning? I think I mean.
So we're looking at Indianapolis at Buffalo.
Left, right, left, left, right, left. Okay, we're done. See you later. See you next week. Enjoy your football, folks. Oh, sorry.
I'm going with Buffalo. I think I don't think it's a slam dunk. I
No.
think Indianapolis is a good football team, better than I thought. But man,
Okay, Dale,
Buffalo's
I can ask you a question. You got to answer me this honestly. Okay.
okay.
How many playoff games have you saw Phillip Rivers perform at a level that didn't make him look like a complete chump? Have you seen one?
Well, I haven't watched much of the Colts this year. I'll admit that.
Well, I've seen plenty of him in San Diego. I'll tell you what, this guy is a choke artist.
But when you look at the record, the Colts record, I mean, he's winning more here than he has been.
Yeah.
So you know, I don't see them performing to the level of Buffalo to beat Buffalo. I mean, that offense of Buffalo's is on fire, but you know,
it's going to be a closer game than New Orleans and Chicago, right? That for sure. We know that.
Who? Wait a minute. I can't wrong that cursor of mine.
How dare you use my middle name, wife?
Oh.
She used my middle name. She was yelling.
It's Stephen Wayne.
You know your wife's mad at you when you in serious when they use your middle name.
Oh yeah.
It's like my mom used to do that. Jeez.
My mother too. Let's see. So we're going with, I think we're both going with Buffalo.
Yep.
Then we've got the Rams.
Seattle's, come on, Seattle's got to win this. He's still out. They still have AAF guy in there. You know, he did good last week, sure, but he got no football experience, let alone playoff experience. They're at a complete disadvantage. They got lucky last week. They're playing a team that wasn't really trying as hard as they could, at least from what I saw. So, no, yeah, Seattle, Russell Wilson playoffs. That's when the boy shines, and he's been on and off streaky this year. They still have with a great record, and Russell always shows up at the end of the year. So,
yeah, I like Seattle too. Then we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Washington.
We're both going to admit and we're going to say what we don't want to say, right?
Well, yeah, I mean. Despite my softness,
Tampa Bay will win, but it's not because of that. He who shall not be named. He's not winning the game. The Buccaneers may win the game.
Hey, look, as much as I hate Tom Brady,
which you do,
which I do because he's a cheater and a liar. He's also a good football player.
Alleged.
What do you mean, alleged?
Still alleged. They didn't go to court. There was no proceedings. There was no judgment handed down by a judge.
He was suspended by the NFL. He's a liar and a cheater. You're trying to get me salty.
Roger likes suspending people. We can go over back and forth on people that should have been suspended that weren't, and ones that weren't that were. You know, we don't judge validity of facts on Roger Goodell, do we? Come on. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. You really want me salty, don't you?
You ain't salty enough. Tom's a nice guy.
Oh, Tom's a. All right.
Move on. Okay. We're picking Tampa over Washington.
Family friendly. Yeah.
Can I have a 7-9 team win? Sorry, first round.
Fire and cheater, but he's good, and I don't see Washington having enough yet to counter what that offense is going to do to them. I will say this. I do like kind of the direction that Washington's going.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I've trashed them this week and as salty
you
as
had reasons for it. It wasn't personal. It was just who they are. Right.
And I do like Chase Young a lot. I think he's, as a football player, he's probably one of players out in the league that I covet the most, that I would like to see come to Miami once he
Gets that rookie contract out of the way.
gets that rookie contract out of the way. Montez,
Man, remember, I told you I cried because the Lions had that high pick, and that was what we were gunning for was Chase. If he was still there, 5th or whatever we got, but he wasn't. He was gone quick, and
Montez Sweat is a beast too.
Sweat's good. We saw that. We talked about that the other week. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just thinking, I'll be rooting for. I would love to see Washington beat them, but
Are they your spirits? Because, like you said, if it was a real wild card,
because then I can trash Tom Brady for losing to a pathetic football team.
good point. Oh, I never thought of that. The smack talk of Brady lost to the 7-9 Washington football.
Yeah, he's got a lot to lose in this game, so I'm torn.
Yeah, look at all those weapons, with Brown and Gronk and everything, and then they're going to lose to the Redskins, who has Alex Smith, who is having, and whoever is there, Dwayne Haskins is gone. They're kind of spotty, injuries all over the place, and yeah, that would be a horrible loss. I'd love to see it. You're right. Go Washington.
Yeah, so I'm at the same time I'm torn because if Washington wins, then my point. Then people will say, well, your point about them not deserving to be there is invalid. So I don't know.
You're willing to eat it, though. If they beat the Bucks,
there's part of me that
I was wrong.
That would just love to see Brady lose to a 7-9 team in the playoffs. So
Baltimore, Tennessee.
Baltimore at Tennessee. Wow, this could be a dogfight.
I'm still going with my King Henry, baby. You got?
Yeah, I am too.
I think it's going to be a great game.
The fans are fairly split. 57% for Baltimore, 43%.
That's the closest on the list, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Baltimore is playing better, and the question is whether or not they can match offenses. They haven't had the year that everybody thought they would, but it's just hard to say. I really thought Lamar Jackson would be doing better because he had been because what I look at with these young quarterbacks is how are they progressing, especially in their completion percentage, and he was doing that really well. So I thought maybe Lamar Jackson would kind of break the mold of running quarterback that can't throw the ball. I thought maybe he would be the guy that could take that next step.
But he backslid and started running more and passing less and less accurately for a little bit there, and that worries me. You're right. I agree with you totally.
But Tennessee has been pretty consistent. They've had some hiccups, but I think I like this, but that may be where I go with my least confidence points.
I got an interesting factoid for you.
What's that?
Of all the quarterbacks playing this weekend, Tannehill finished the lead overall in the league as the ranked number 4 quarterback. The number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks, and we're going to talk about the last 3 weeks of the season only. We're just talking last 3 games of the season. Tannehill was 4th. Rodgers, Mahomes. Who was number 3? Do you know who the 3rd best quarterback in the NFL was for the last 3 weeks of the year? Matthew Stafford. Just saying.
Oh.
Ever since Patricia left, and he's been more responsible for the calls, he has killed it and owned it. And I just wish we could have fired Patricia earlier in the year because I think we would have had a better chance. But I got to talk about the Lions just a wee little bit this week, even though they're not in. I just wanted to put my 2 cents worth in that Matt Stafford does not need to be traded because that's the other big stories I've seen. It was even on front page of Yahoo of give Stafford a chance with a real team. No, he's the only thing we've got. Please don't take him from me. But
all right. So next we've got the Bears the 8-8 Bears against the New Orleans Saints.
How many points did New Orleans score last week? Like 54 or something? Yeah, I think that's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints. And Chicago, you do not deserve to be there.
Much as I hate to say it and agree with Eric Weinbender, the Packers deserve to be there. The Bears do not.
Yeah. I think
but Trubisky's hot. He's looking good again. One or two games at a time. He's just like Fitzmagic. He'll show you some stuff every now and then, but don't expect it for the long haul, Bears. Simmer down. Take your defeat. Go home. Watch the rest of the playoffs. Catch.
And that leaves us with the Browns and the Steelers, which is the other dogfight. I may surprise you here.
Oh, dear. You're thinking about my AFC Lions. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that.
I just think they're playing better than the Steelers are at this point in the season.
Maybe they got
Steelers got off to a great start, but the Steelers also, and it's true for Cleveland as well because they play in the same division, but that division drew the NFC East. So they got all the pathetic teams like the Redskins and the
But there's so many people that are like, oh yeah,
and the Cowboys and the Giants.
Cleveland beat the Pittsburgh, but they had all their third stringers in and they just barely won. Now that everything's back, Pittsburgh's gonna roll over them. Not so convinced about that. No.
Yeah. So let's look at some confidence points. I think this is the one that scares me the most.
Yeah, that would be
this. 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6.
It was 6. You still got to put 6 on it, baby.
Ooh. So we'll go here with 8.
I'd say the next closest would be Indy Buffalo, but that's just me.
We're going to put 16. Well, I'm torn there because I really.
New Orleans, Chicago. That's the slam dunk of the week, I think. But those two are good, both good.
And then we got. You know what? Well, yeah. Here, this is the way it should be. And then we'll go 10 on there. I think that works out pretty good.
Yeah, works.
And then
27-21. I don't know. What are you thinking? You think it's going to be worse than that? I think it's going to be close, but
yeah.
I think both teams are going to score some. I think there might be a defensive touchdown thrown in there by one of the teams.
Go with that.
That looks good. They don't have a high enough number. You can type in 75, right? Just kidding. Breeze wants to win, man. Breeze has gotten his time is running out. He ain't playing around.
Let's see.
The Bears. Okay, I was going to say Buffalo or New Orleans, and I think that's good.
And we'll see.
All right, man. It's been a salty week. And look at that. We finished right on time. It's like 9:59. And I thought we were going to roll way over until I remembered, well, that's right. We only got 6 games. So
yeah, that was another thought I had by doing the salty. We needed the. I didn't want to do a 10-minute live stream. So,
well, we could have talked about each of the games more and in depth, but they got professionals that are better at that than we are. Just 2 knuckleheads just griping about what would tink, So
yeah. And but man, I'm looking forward. I'm kind of looking forward to it, but yeah, I'm probably going to be just on the edge of salty all weekend.
Hey, the game I want to watch the most is the first one. So
Which one's that? The Buffalo.
Bills Indy. Yeah, Bills Indies at 1. I love watching Josh Allen play. Like I said, he's fun to watch. I like watching him or Mahomes, but Mahomes ain't playing this week. He got the bye, so
I think most of the games look. If there's one that I'll probably have a hard time getting into, it'll be the Saints and Bears, and that's not because of the Saints. That's because of the Bears. I just
because of the Bears, right?
Yeah, I just don't really enjoy watching them play football. But I think all the rest of them, the weakest other weak game in there, I think, will be the Tampa Bay Washington game. But I got so many feelings about that game. It'll be high drama. I'll be curious to see how that unfolds.
Well, as it usually works every week, Dale, I'll be watching my game, you'll be watching our game, and then when something amazing happens, we'll be Facebooking each other.
Yeah, I was trying to think if there's anybody. Last year, I really was rooting for the Chiefs because a buddy of mine is a big Chiefs fan, and I wanted him to be able to experience the Chiefs winning a Super Bowl. This year, I mean, I still do kind of like the Chiefs. I think Mahomes is a good kid, and there's a lot to like there. But I don't know who I really feel strongly that I would like to see win the Super Bowl.
Well, let's go through the. I've already picked. For me, I want the Bills for AFC. Sorry, that's just I already got that. But on the NFC, let's go through the list of the teams. And remember, I talked about last week. This is kind of where I'm heading in on this. Packers, they've been in the Super Bowl enough. They're fine. They can sit down. Seattle, they've been there just recently, not that far away back. They can sit down. Saints, they were. They had one. So who do we got left? We got. Do I go for Washington? No, because Washington's had their Super Bowls too. I'm trying to think of what teams are left. NFC. Who's the one I'm forgetting?
Saints, Bears.
They've had Super Bowl too. Couple
Rams.
Rams. No, they've had Super Bowls too. Great show on turf. Kurt Warner.
Yeah, there's not really a new team in there.
There's no new team in the NFC. And the Bills aren't a new team either. I just want to go there because they lost 4 in a row. So that's a big deal. Yeah, they've been there a lot. Not really. They didn't show up for those. At least Norwood didn't for that one. But anyway.
Well, for me, the Bills are a division rival. And I've listened enough to obnoxious Bills fans this season that I want them to get beat.
That's why I'm not going for the Bears. I should be. You're like, oh, NFC North. It's like I don't like the Packers at all. Hatred, strong word, but I do. But I really, if I can't do it, I don't want to see the Vikings or Bears doing it either. So I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've got family down in New Orleans.
She's just poking the Bears. She don't like the Packers.
I've got family down in New Orleans, and they've been cheated a couple times here recently. I wouldn't mind.
Starting to.
I don't mind them winning.
I'd like to see Breeze get that. I would. So yeah.
Well, Tennessee's kind of a new team to the Super. Would be well. I mean, they've been in Super Bowls. Have they won one? I know they got beat.
Not good. No.
Who beat them?
Gotta get up. Let's see here.
Rams.
Yeah.
And that's been a while. So, of course, the only problem with Tennessee winning is then as a Dolphin fan, all I'm going to hear is, well, do you miss Tannehill now? Never had a problem with Tannehill, but I understand why they got rid of him. He could never stay on the field for us.
No, I agree. I'm looking
But
at
that's exactly what will happen if Tannehill wins the Super Bowl. Is that
other woodworks, you know that.
well, as a Dolphin, all of us Dolphin fans will have to deal with. Aren't you sorry you got rid of Tannehill now? Yeah.
Yeah, New Orleans 31 over Indy 17. That's right. That was Super Bowl 2010. I'd forgotten about who the New Orleans had played. I knew they had a Super Bowl win because that was one of those just forgettable years.
They've had a Super Bowl win, but they should have had another. They should have at least got to play in another one because the year the Rams went, they had that big pass interference on the that one that the refs ignored. And
Yeah. They got robbed.
Yeah. And they've been robbed a couple times. And so, I like Drew Brees, and I wouldn't mind seeing him win another title.
I'm going to go down there for the NFC.
Get talked about on the same level as Tom Brady, who I think he's better than.
And AFC, I'm going to go with Bills, but if not Bills, I'm going to go with King Henry because he's fun to watch too.
Now, from a prediction standpoint, I think it's going to be a Chiefs-Packers game.
Of course. I mean, it's common sense. Just that's most likely what it's going to be.
Are just so red hot, and they do it so consistently. But, you never know.
I'm going to get going because she's going back there every single time we're saying the word Packers. She's saying yay. And I know she's not that. She's just annoying me. And so I don't want to get caught on stream the abuse because
is there violence about to occur?
There's violence is probably going to occur. I'm going to go Kareem Hunt on her. No, I'm not going to Kareem Hunt on her.
Oh, wow. People see what I'm talking about. Appropriate.
All right. Lucky Dale. Talk to you on Facebook. It's going to be a fun week nonetheless. And I'll see you next week. Same bad
Take
time.
it easy. And to all the folks watching, hope you enjoyed this. And we'll see you soon.
Woman? You got more lip? Come on. I dare you.